Yo, what is going on, Xbox and PC fans? It's Josh back once again, bringing you guys some phenomenal news today. Nvidia has come out and announced they are releasing two brand new high-end graphics processors at the end of May and early June, to be known as the GTX 1080 and 1070, and to replace, as far as pricing is concerned, the GTX 980 and 970. Now, that may not mean a whole lot to some of you guys out there, but let me put it in perspective for you. The current champion in terms of performance is the Nvidia Titan X. Now that GPU cost $1,000. The GTX 1080, which is just recently announced, is going to be $599, and it's supposed to have not double the performance of the Titan X, but pretty close to it. So you're talking about a card that is basically half the money. It has twice the performance. Even the GTX 1070, which has been announced for $379, is supposed to outperform Titan X. So you're talking about, in a matter of a few weeks, you're going to have people that just bought a card for $1,000, and people who are going to buy a card in a few weeks are going to get something that performs faster for $379. That's absolutely massive. Now, why is this happening? Well, that's a good question, and I have a good answer for you. One is that they have moved to a different technology in terms of how they actually manufacture these chips. Current technology, well, up until this point, basically, has been limited to a 28 nanometer process for fabricating consumer GPUs for the PC market. And AMD and Nvidia have been making GPUs on that process for like 4 years, over 4 years. So, we haven't had any kind of huge boost to performance, power efficiency, heat output, things of that nature that come along with a new fabrication process, essentially what's called a die shrinkage. When they make the chips smaller, they're going to produce less heat, because it's a smaller surface area. You can crank them up to higher speeds, and they just use less power. So that is one reason why the massive boost in performance out of the gate right there for these two cards. And another reason is that these two cards are actually using a brand new architecture called Pascal. Nvidia, has currently Maxwell and some other architectures that are all phenomenal in terms of their performance per watt. And this is supposed to actually triple that. So I'm talking about some GPUs that are going to be insanely power efficient, insanely fast, and they're going to be priced at a pretty good price. And a lot of that is, again, due to the shrinkage of how big these chips are. They can print a lot more of these GPUs onto the exact same size silicone wafer as they could have previously. You have a 28 nanometer chip versus a 16 nanometer chip. Picture those two as basically the size of a stamp and trying to fit as many of those as you can onto a big circle. And that is what you're talking about here in terms of manufacturing. So that's what's happening here. They can make them for a lot cheaper. They're going to be a lot more power efficient and a lot more powerful than what we currently have available. So this is good news for gamers all around. If you are looking to upgrade your computer, I would certainly recommend that you wait at least a few weeks to a month as these cards come out. Obviously, pricing is going to adjust across the board. So cards that were, $1,000 before, you're talking about relative performance, it's probably going to be about $350 when you compare that to a GTX 1070 for $379. If that card is beating the Titan X in performance, well, no one's going to pay more than a GTX 1070 price for a card that doesn't perform as well. So you're talking about going from $1,000 down to $350 in a matter of a few weeks here. So I would certainly hold out and get yourself a whole lot more performance for a whole lot less money here in the very near future. That's going to be awesome even for AMD fans. Pricing for all of those cards should drop dramatically as well. And of course, we do have AMD's new GPUs to look forward to in the coming weeks as well. They are set to announce Polaris 10 and Polaris 11, which are supposed to capture more of the mid kind of high-end market as opposed to the super high-end market in terms of price and performance relative to these Nvidia cards. But they are also rumored to be included in the new systems from both Microsoft and Sony. So we will find out more about that, I'm sure, at E3 in the coming weeks. But until then, guys, just know we're going to have a bunch more kick-ass pixels thrown into our faces in the very near future, and a lot more money in our wallet if we're trying to get those babies on our screens. So I hope you guys are excited about this stuff. A bunch more coming in the upcoming weeks from AMD as far as their GPUs, new CPUs, all kinds of new technology coming out at the end of this year, and it's going to be a heck of a time to be a gamer, guys. So I can't wait. We got game quality going up, we got prices going down. Should be sweet all around. Hope you guys are having a phenomenal weekend. Catch you in the next one. See ya.